Hey everyone, it's me John again, and welcome to part 2 of this Super Star Wars Review Day, Wednesday before Christmas. And that's right, Chewie's back. If you haven't seen these, I got this at Disneyland last time I was there. They're selling them now. I love how the mouth is... That's vlogging Chewie. He's here to tell you all about Star Wars Episode 7. So, Chewie's back, Han is back, Leia's back, 3PO's back, R2-D2's back. Is Luke back? Well, you're not going to find out in this video because this one is spoiler free. However, if you want to talk about Star Wars, there will be a link at the end of the video where we can continue this conversation, hopefully after you've seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see it first, then go to the spoilery discussion and we'll talk all about the film. But for those of you that haven't, the biggest question on everyone's mind is probably, well, outside of where is Luke on the poster, is it worth seeing? And I was alive during the prequel release. I know that's hard to believe. I don't look old enough to be alive during the prequels. I mean, those were released in what, 99? But I went through the whole ride that was the prequels of being super excited. I was actually working at Fox at the time too, who distributed the prequels, so we were extra excited. And then going and watching the first movie and coming out of that first screening and going, did I like that? I really didn't feel like I liked that. What was wrong with that? So going into Star Wars Episode 7, I definitely kept my boosters in reverse. I didn't want to hold up my expectations like I did for the prequels and have them dashed. I wanted to kind of keep them lowered and just go in and see what it was about. Now that got very tough, particularly because of my weekend of playing Star Wars Battlefront. I got all wrapped up in the universe again, and I really wanted it to be something special by the time I went to see it. And I can say that if you are excited about it, you don't have to hold your expectations back. It is very clearly a sequel to the original trilogy. I don't think it really paid any lip service to the prequels at all, outside of maybe one potential joke kind of knocking it. Not really knocking them, but just pointing out that there was a difference in what type of movie this was going to be. But if you saw, I would say that Star Wars Episode 7 feels a bit like Jurassic World did in terms of there's a lot of story elements from the original trilogy that seem to be retold or being reused kind of in a different way in Star Wars Episode 7. And quite honestly, for a lot of YouTube reviewers in particular, that seems to be their biggest knock about it. And I can tell you, if that's the biggest knock, then you guys have nothing to worry about. This thing feels like Star Wars right from the opening credits all the way until the end. I did hear one YouTube reviewer saying that if Episode 8 was in another theater, that he would have walked right out and gone in to see Episode 8. And I totally agree. I didn't want this movie to end, which is a much different experience than those prequel movies that we got. So, what's great about it? The universe. They literally took set pieces from the old movies. They took design elements that were intended for the old movies but not used and brought them into Star Wars Episode 7. It just looks and feels like the original trilogy, but like it's developed a little bit. You know, X-Wings don't look that much more futuristic than they did in the original trilogy, but they definitely don't look as different as those ships that we had in the prequels. I mean, the prequels didn't respect the art design in particular of the sets and the ships, where Star Wars Episode 7 holds those designs in the utmost regard and pays nothing but respect to them. It was very, very cool, very well handled. It is thrilling, it's exciting. You've got great new characters coming into the fold, and then you've got this constant stream of old characters that are coming back and just reminding you why you loved that original trilogy so much. The relationships are still right, they feel right. That's something that really bothered me, particularly about the fourth Indiana Jones film. Harrison Ford did not feel like Indiana Jones in that movie. He felt like just like a cranky old guy. Like I didn't get it. And in this movie, it's completely different. Harrison Ford nails Han Solo and gets a lot of screen time, which is really enjoyable, and it's neat to see how they shared time between kind of the new cast and the old cast and have them all work together. It's very cohesive. The performances are really good. I am very, very critical of J.J. Abrams' work. If you've seen my channel, I have a whole expose on what went wrong with Star Trek Into Darkness. I've done multiple comedic videos where I'm actually impersonating J.J. and I based that character on the thought that he knows how to talk a lot, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. All that being said, he impressed the heck out of me with this movie. This is a movie that was handled by a very good director. You can tell it had a team of people that really cared about it, working with it, and that really cared about the original trilogy and wanted to extend that. And that, there's nothing else we could have asked for. I don't know. I've literally been thinking, what else would I have had in there? What else could I have put in there that would make me enjoy that movie more? And there really isn't anything. As a matter of fact, I felt like a kid again coming out of it because my brain immediately went to, oh my God, do you know everything they could do for the next episode now? Like they've refreshed the universe, they've pulled together our old heroes, we've got new heroes with them, and now it's just wide open. So very, very enjoyable. Runtime I think is almost 2.5 hours, and it really seems to go by pretty fast. There's not a lot of downtime in it. It's a lot of adventure, a lot of running, a lot of things shooting and blowing up, all the stuff that you love about that original Star Wars universe, and there's also plenty of Chewbacca showing up in it. So I highly, 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 highly recommend it, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. As a matter of fact, there's so much little that I think, in terms of negatives, I can't even really specifically think of something negative in terms of, the script, in terms of performances. I've heard some other reviewers that are knocking one performance in particular. There's kind of this general character, but he's not really that important of a character. And there was only one moment in particular when he starts yelling and it kind of took me out. There's just something about the Star Wars universe where you don't have people really just yell at the top of their voice. And there was just one scene in particular where that happened, and I was just like, whoa, that didn't feel quite right for this universe. But that, I'm talking super minor, definitely not any reason to knock this movie. I rate this movie a 9 out of 10. It is seriously that good. Don't temper your expectations. Buy a ticket, go and see it. You might bump into me there because I'm going to go see it again. It's that good that this is a movie I'm going back to relive again. It reminds me of those original trilogy movies. It's an adventure in itself, beautiful scenery, great special effects. Did not overuse the CGI, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the spoilery discussion. Just kind of appropriately used CGI, and that great universe that we all know and love. It's back, and I am so stoked about it. Luckily, we won't have to wait long because we've got another Star Wars movie being released next year. That's going to be kind of an offshoot movie, Rogue Squadron. And then Star Wars Episode 8 is currently scheduled to release in May of only 2017. That's coming up really, really fast. We're already at the end of 2015 here. So we're looking at 18 months and we get another full-fledged part of this awesome continuing saga. Or the saga that was awesome, went to the prequels, wasn't so awesome, and now we're back to awesome again. All right, time to talk some spoilers. So if you want to continue the conversation, click below. If you haven't seen the movie, don't click below. Please, please, please do yourself a favor, buy a ticket, go see it, then come back and check this out. All right?